Bicycle New South Wales has recently been putting up some posts about shopping by bike around New South Wales, and I reckon that's a great idea because it highlights the lack of infrastructure that's required to get people to start doing this. Now, for some months I've been doing a series looking at bike parking outside cafes, and today we're going to have a look at one cafe in Perth versus a whole bunch of businesses and cafes on the south coast. And of course, one reason I'm doing cafes is, well, I stop at them a lot more than any other business, and hey, the food's good, the coffee's good, and who doesn't want to sit out in the open air and have something nice to eat and chat with some friends, etc. So I've covered Highland before, and the food here is top notch, and I love sitting out here in this little kind of garden space. But one of the good features of it is they've got secure, convenient bike parking right at the front door. So, they get a lot of fitness-oriented people coming here because there's a gym or something just down the road and people walk up here, and obviously, people ride, or locals in that street down there, walk here as well. So, look, there's not a lot of bike parking. You're not going to squeeze, a ton of bikes in there, but you'll get a couple, and that's generally all that's required. And it's really convenient. Like, the till is right in there inside the door there, and it's very secure. And it's secure because you can sit out here in this lovely outdoor area and eyeball your bike, because surveillance is one of the key features of crime prevention through environmental design. It's all very well locking a bike up, but if it's locked up in an area where a thief can work on it without anyone viewing them for a couple of minutes, your bike is going to go missing, because surveillance is absolutely critical, and they've got plenty of it here. You can sit out here, have your coffee, have a chat, eat your food, and there's lots of people keeping an eye on things. So I do like this cafe, and it's even got a seat for, well, I don't know who would quite sit there, but anyway, as you can see, secure, convenient bike parking. This is what it looks like, okay? Now, what have we got in Bateman's Bay? Well, JJ's gets an honourable mention down at the marina. They've got secure and convenient bike parking, but sadly, they're about it. Now, Seven, they did get a new bike rack recently, but it's unfortunately out of the line of sight, so I continue to lock my bike up against that pole, again using the principles of CPTED. Now, Starfish, yep, secure and convenient, and there's good surveillance there, so thumbs up for the Starfish around this side. But the Boatshed, nothing, and so people lock their bikes up against this rotary sculpture, I guess you call it, because there is nothing if you want to go and get some fish and chips. Alfresco roasters, nothing. There's just a concrete thing you can lean the bike up against, and that's it. Crumb Cafe, another great cafe, but zero bike parking. Thankfully there's some railings here you can lean up against, but that's it. Ebb and Flow, zero, zilch, nothing, absolutely nothing. Soul Space, again, nothing, but there is a convenient rack you can lock a couple of bikes to, but no racks. Birdland, right next door, no bike parking. Beaches, and when I say beaches, I mean Surf Beach and every other beach in the Batemans area, because there's no bike racks whatsoever. You want to ride down the beach and have a swim? Forget it. Batehaven Bakery, nothing. And and it's also the Batehaven shops. Doesn't matter what you want to go to, the butcher or the bottle shop, whatever. No bike parking, including the IGA. Now, the Edward Road markets. After this photo was taken, they did in fact get a bike rack right there in that position, and it's really secure, really convenient, and lots of surveillance. Excellent. Bridge Plaza, terrible. Inconvenient, unsecure, you're risking damage. I lock the bike up against a trolley thing, or I just don't go there at all, because it's just hopeless. It's terrible. The other shopping centre, Village Centre, now they've got one set of secure racks at one end of the shopping centre, but it's only convenient to the shops down that end, so people park their bikes elsewhere. Little Paradise around the corner, nothing. 366, haven't been there for a while, but nothing. What else we got here? Bay Pavillion, okay. Brand new construction, opened in the last couple of months. Yeah, they've got some bike racks, but they're inconvenient. They completely ignore the principles of crime prevention through environmental design, and there's no ramp. So if you want to try and, if you're elderly and you don't have the strength to get your bike over that curb, too bad. And I think this, unfortunately, highlights the kind of design principles of the council, which is they don't know what they're doing. So anyway, yeah, shopping by bike or going to a cafe by bike, there's there's a comparison for you. Unfortunately, it's chalk and cheese, and I think it shows we've got a long way to go to educate councils in New South Wales about what secure, convenient bike parking looks like and how it should just be outside the maximum number of businesses, particularly small businesses, because they're the ones that get the most benefit out of it. Now, if you're interested in this sort of stuff, I've created 2 playlists that cover cafe bike parking, one in Perth and one on the south coast around the Batemans Bay area. Now, the one in Perth, I started on it in 2022 when I was stuck in Perth due to restrictions and all the rest of it. And I made use of my time by simply riding around, visiting cafes and checking out the bike parking, because I noticed how much better it was than it is in a lot of places in New South Wales. Okay, the Sydney City Council is very good at putting in bike parking, but most of the rest are pretty hopeless. So I did that as a kind of a learning experience, I guess, or a teaching tool that you can show this to local council staff and say, hey, why can't we have this? Now, the other one was just looking at a particular council area, the Eurobodalla Shire Council, again, because I'm spending a lot of my other time there. And I thought I'd just ride around as many cafes as possible and other businesses and, see what the bike parking's like, or what the lack of bike parking is like, just to show that, if a council arcs up and says, oh, look, we've got bike parking in this particular instance, I can say to the council, well, no, you don't. And here's the proof. I've got a whole list of videos showing all these businesses that don't have it. And I can also show you what it looks like in Perth with lots of businesses that do have it. So, don't try and gaslight me and tell me that you've got good bike parking and good infrastructure when clearly you don't. Anyway, there's hours and hours of stuff there. You could, lose yourself in it. Good luck, and we'll see you on the next video.